Hello and welcome. I am so glad you're here. I'm Beth, a creator-based coach with CMH Coaching for Life. I'm here today to help you and those you love create a life you feel grounded and at home in. Think of a life where you feel peace, love for those around you, and in a flow with just enough challenge to keep you happy and creating something wonderful. Sounds like magic, but it's not. You can create that life every single day. You can have a life full of love, excitement, hope, and creation. Our mission at CMH Coaching is to flood the earth with light through compassion, mindfulness, and hope. And I'm going to ask a favor of you. If you like what you see and hear today, think of someone you know that would enjoy and benefit from this message. Our mission is to flood the world with compassion, mindfulness, and hope. Share this with them. But for now, this is time just for you. So settle into whatever you're doing and enjoy this time with the girls, where we create that one awesome, amazing, perfect life every one of us is seeking.
You gotta watch your thinking. Watch your thinking. Watch your thinking.
We are being live streamed. Hello, beautiful women. We are so glad to see you. You can hear us. We'd love to hear from you at the same time. Hello, beautiful women. We are so glad to hear you. We'd love to hear. There we go. We are here and ready to talk about the beautiful gifts of summer. And this month, all of July is gifted, and it's gifted self-care, taking care of ourselves. Are you guys familiar with what they call the summer slide? It was something we always used in the educational community, the summer slide. When you come back to do, say you were teaching third grade, and you'd come back for third grade, and you'd have to do the last 25% of second grade before you actually start teaching third grade, because the kids just forgot because they just had that summer slide all summer long.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we used to see the summer slide all the time. But one of the things we're working on is utilizing our gifts and our self-care to prevent the summer slide, but still to really enjoy summer. It was kind of a challenge for us. We homeschooled when my kids were growing up. And so it was kind of a challenge to have the kids not forget their times tables between grade 2 and grade 3, but at the same time, actually have a summer break.
Mm-hmm.
And so our gift to ourselves is, yes, getting the R&R and really enjoying the summer, but not having the slide. So kind of thought we'd talk about that a little bit today. And I know, Jen, you brought a wonderful way that we can help others around us with that gift of self-care, but it's kind of a way that we can help them instead of just focusing on us. So what do you think? Have you guys experienced the summer slide? Seriously, sleeping till 11. It's really lovely.
Oh,
just
wow.
saying.
Look at Jaycine. She's like, that just doesn't compute.
What is that? Abominable.
Compute.
I remember when I had teenagers, we would sleep until 11.
Wow.
It was so great. Yeah.
I remember sleeping late like that as a teenager.
Yeah. Yeah.
Lounging in the bed. Yeah.
Yeah. So much fun. That was summer. That's what summer meant. It meant sleeping late and getting up and eating Captain Crunch in front of the television, and then doing something maybe in the afternoon. What's it mean for y'all? Go ahead, Jaycine. Make us all look bad. Come on. You are the Energizer Bunny.
No, like I was just thinking, growing up, my dad being from a dairy farm, he was raised by a dairy farmer, right? They were up before the crack of dawn milking cows. And I mean, our sleep in time was 8 a.m. and you get up.
That was seriously sleeping in, since they'd already been up for 4 hours.
Yeah. So that was sleeping in, and that was time to get up and go out in the garden and weed for an hour. And then you had your inside chores, and then it was, but at noon, that was the whole ticket was to be done with everything by noon so that you could have the rest of the day to lay. I love to lay in the grass and look at the clouds as they went by, or run through the sprinklers, or yeah. So now, like, what that looks like for me is, again, getting up early and getting a lot of stuff done at the beginning. So I try and end my work day, my meetings anyway, by 2 p.m. so that I have kind of that rest of the day to go out and do what I want to do.
Yeah, to give yourself the gift of that time. Because otherwise our fall and our winter get so busy, and spring is even busier than that. Summer is a beautiful time to have just a little bit of time to give yourself the gift of R&R. What about you, Jen? What's it look like for you? Do you have a difference? I know your really active season is spring. So I wondered if it was different.
I can tell you how it was as a child, but now I think my summer slide is very, very much because it's so freaking hot. So I don't
Yep.
So it's like and if I do go outside, it just takes all my energy, and so I feel like a slug. So I feel like so come August, I'm just like, I'm not wanting to go outside and do anything. I don't want to be, because it's just as bad. And so I do more of the, like, I will stay inside, read. I would wish I could say I did the productive stuff, but I don't,
It's summer. It's time to do some fun stuff.
So I don't know.
I grew up in Michigan, and so it was really, really cold December and January. And so you just hibernated, the bears hibernate, the people hibernate. And now we live in Texas and we hibernate in August. August and September are our hottest months of the year. So like you, I do more inside things in August and September. It's actually the time of year when the garden doesn't even grow. We can do our fall garden starting middle of September. But August and September before that, it's just pretty well dead. We love it because you don't have to mow. The haying's all done. Everything's all finished. Everything's just brown and crispy.
And you don't want to do anything. So you
don't. It's just too hot. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so one of the gifts that I'll give to myself is doing the inside things. I like to do, like the vision book that you brought and taught us to do the first of the year. I plan to do another installation of my vision book in August. And to take my word, what's my word? I did it the first of the year. I did it the first quarter, and then to do it again in August.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. Yeah. But that's fun, to get out your glue stick and your paper and all your
stickers and your pens and
Yeah. So I like to do some fun things. Yeah. It's good. So summer slide. Do y'all have a summer slide? I mean, I have a summer slide. I could easily gain 10 pounds. I love to watch Netflix. I could seriously slide. Do you guys do that in the summer?
Oh yeah. Because of ice cream. Come on. I don't eat ice cream in the winter, but man, during the summer, it's like, it could be one of my, meals. So.
Jaycine, do you summer slide, or do you just work through the summer?
I work. Yeah, I work. I'm looking forward to this year. Actually has been really good because I've had some travel in there and some family things, family trips and family travel. And I've got others planned this year, which is more than normal. We've got camping trips where we're going to take our horses up and camp and ride in the mountains. And then another camping trip with our family and grandkids, and just at the river and just hang out and just be and play games and, kick the can and hide and seek in the woods, all those fun things. Yeah. That's a really cool gift, right? To be able to have that. I just, as long as I
make
can
those
remember.
memories.
Yeah.
To have those memories.
As long as I can remember, I've just worked because we had so many kids in our family, and I bought my own school clothes starting at age 14 and have had a job doing something, whether it was babysitting, picking strawberries, picking up hazelnuts, whatever it was.
Working.
Working. So this year's I'm working on not feeling guilty about taking, like, it's about a total of 4 weeks that I'm taking off to enjoy
That's so
summer and the summer
cool.
things.
Awesome.
So yeah, so
Well-
I'm trying to work to not feel guilty about it.
Hallmark does Christmas in July every year. On the
Right.
Hallmark Channel, they play Christmas movies all the way through the month of July. So maybe you could just think about it as Christmas when are you going? Are you going in July or August?
In August is the camping trips, but we already just took last week, went and visited Mark's family in DC and did a lot of boating and crabbing and stuff. So
Yeah, so Christmas in July. It's
yeah.
And everybody loves presents. Yeah.
Mm.
Let's talk about gifts in a little bit different standpoint. Gifts as in we all have a gift. One of my favorite quotes is from Ethel Waters, and I'll read it to you. She says, "We are all gifted. It is our inheritance."
Mhm.
Doesn't that just make your heart happy? We are all gifted. It is our inheritance. So we have gifts we give ourselves, but then we have these inherited gifts, our divine inheritance of our gift. Each of us has something we share with the world. Does that resonate with you? Okay, so we've talked about gifts we give ourselves, and we've talked about Summer Slide. What do we do with our inherited gifts?
I love that I can go back. I have people in my ancestry that I know their story and the things that they've overcome and what the trials that they've been through and how they've been resilient through those trials. And just being able to, I think it's hard, maybe not for everybody, but I think it's hard for me to look at myself and say, oh, look at all these wonderful gifts I have, and I'm so blessed and blah, blah, blah. But I can look at those gifts that my ancestors have and then look at them, I write them down and say, okay, this is what I love. Perseverance. That's what I love from my grandma Rappin. Just whatever it is. And then sit back and say, do I have any of these characteristics myself?
You can kind of recognize them and feel them in yourself, right?
Yes.
Yeah. My grandpa Bitsane owned a restaurant. He came from Greece and he owned a restaurant in Greek food, right? Downtown Detroit. And he loved to cook. I have some amazing pictures of him sharpening his knife, and just joy on his face. And then my dad loved to cook. And I have a couple of nephews that love to cook. And it's so fun to see that inheritance come down through the family and the connection. That connection is a gift to me. Yeah, I feel that. It is beautiful. Yeah. And the gifts we get from our progenitors, our ancestors. What about you, Jen?
It's an interesting thought that I've been thinking about, and as Jaycine was talking about that, I was kind of just looking back on my family stuff and some of the stuff that maybe were gifts, and so it's an interesting thought. But then I also kind of went to gifts also that our Creator gives us that can be similar, if not completely different than your family.
Totally unique.
Yeah, because this is a very, we're not the same. We're not made the same. So of course we're not going to all need the same thing from each other. And so I was just thinking about it. I think it's kind of a really cool thing.
It is.
I kind of, just sitting there thinking of the people I know and kind of like saying, oh, well, that's their gift. That's their gift. And I actually wonder, do they know that about themselves?
Yeah. And when we recognize the gift, it's really a way to care for ourselves. It is true self-care to recognize and own the gift that's in you. I mean, you feel so differently when you can identify and feel that, right? Yeah. Yeah, I wonder. And how do people identify their gifts?
Because I definitely point some things out to my husband. I'm like, that's definitely just a gift that you have. And sometimes he's like, well, it's just who I am. So I think sometimes it can be just so like,
Yeah.
it's you, so you don't think it's anything different or a gift or anything like that. But I might know you just have this way of connecting certain things, or you have this way of helping us to see when you're teaching something that is just like, so, there's just these things that, I think we are so used to, but they are gifts if somebody else can kind of like bring that awareness to us.
Yeah, I agree. You have a gift
No.
that you shared with us. Oh, don't roll your eyes at me. Just don't roll your
I did it. I stopped him.
So I know.
Him.
Okay, good job. Okay, but you do. And Saturday you shared with us
Oh my gosh. It's so
self-care, some wonderful energy techniques to balance our energy and to help us feel. I left that workshop feeling so energized and so grounded and so good. But you told us there was one that we didn't get to do, and you would promise you'd show it today.
Yeah, I after we closed out and everything, I was like, oh my gosh, I forgot to write that down to share, because it's actually something that we can gift to somebody else.
Oh, I love that.
So it's because everything we did was for ourselves, but this one is helping somebody else have help balance their energy. Because sometimes it's just somebody's offline, energetically offline, and so they're like, whoa, and
Right.
either physically or mentally, and this works so well with children when they're having a tantrum.
Oh,
Yes, it's
that makes a lot of sense.
yes, and because the child is unable to regulate their nervous system, their emotions, their nervous system, and they're stuck in that loop of I want, or I don't get, whatever is going on. So it's like just having to get them out of that. But when I was first introduced to this, I was in a certification course, a holistic health coach certification course, and a woman, because when you do this, sometimes your stuff just comes rushing up and you have like a breakdown. I mean, it happened to all of us in that course. And this woman did it, and the instructor, she's like, okay, I'm going to stop and I'm going to teach you something right now to help her get out of this loop. And you don't have to say anything. You just do it. You take your hand, and so I'm going to have to do it on myself since I don't have somebody to show. But you take one hand and you just place it at the back of their skull, like you're cradling their skull. So you're touching that occipital rim and the base of their spine.
I got it.
They could be sitting or they could be laying down, but you don't want them. You don't want tension because you want to support them. And so you're holding this. And I've laid down and tried this on myself, and it's not the same. But just saying.
Well, it's the idea of being cradled.
It's the idea of somebody else.
Yeah, to have someone else cradle it.
And it's a light touch. It's not a heavy pressure. It's a light touch. And you take the other hand and you just place it on the head. Okay. And all you're doing is just holding it and holding space for them. And you remember when we did that main, medium, central thing where I had you move your hands down? You're looking for that pulse, that beat, or that sensation.
That same feel.
Yes, you're just looking. So that's why it's just very light, and you're just holding it, and you're waiting to feel it.
Yep.
And you're waiting it to do whatever it needs to do, if it needs to get strong, if it needs to go together, if it needs whatever. And you just go with how you feel. You just go with how you feel about how long it needs to be there. And you will literally feel them relax in your hands and calm down. And
I would do that, but then we would end the podcast right here and now.
Yeah.
Amazing thing.
Yeah.
I mean,
But so just doing this feels good.
Man.
But when you combine with cradling the back of your neck, it's just like you just want to close your eyes and sink.
you're syncing a circuit. Yeah. So that was, I'm like, oh, I totally forgot that. But I mean, the whole workshop was on personal stuff, but this is something you can do for somebody else. So, I mean, seriously, if somebody is upset about something, whether they're crying or whether they're angry or whatever like that, they just can't shift out of it. Just do that for just a few seconds. And then after, they can then possibly look at the situation, the beliefs, the emotions, whatever, in a different way, less reactive.
Yeah.
And, coming from a different space.
I love that. Boy, that is a beautiful gift to give somebody. And even if you normally do it for someone else, just the self-care of doing that for yourself.
Yeah.
And feeling that and take a deep breath. It just feels so good. Thank you. Yeah, I'm excited for our next jumpstart, because we're going to go into more of the energy and more of the imagery right? That the first weekend in August. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
You
I'm
guys,
excited.
I know you're listening on the podcast right now and or on Facebook Live right now, but if you are in our 50/50 girl page, and if you haven't signed up for the 50/50 girl page, go to cmhcoaching.com and sign up for the 50/50 girl page. You get access to those recorded jump starts, and the things that happen there are so powerful. I promise you, like I can testify right now that they're life-changing. They really are. And you're going to be able to help somebody else when they're just tools in your toolbox that you have to use for yourself, but also to teach others, because they're simple and you can do them anywhere. And if you haven't watched it yet, go and watch it on the 50/50 girl page. It's just, you have to do it. You have to do it. Do it for yourself.
Well,
Seriously.
and do it for yourself. If you're raising children, give your children those tools.
Yeah.
So when somebody is mean to them on the playground, or they've had a bad time with a test, they have some tools. They have some strategies and some ways to work. Yeah.
Yeah. And our teenagers, you think about what they are going through right now. If they had these tools, or because you're going to go there and give them these tools, they're going to have the ability to have that less anxiety. There's an anxiety epidemic right now.
Yep.
I don't know that it's called that, but that's what I'm calling it. And it's a problem with our youth. It is. And they need tools to be able to help themselves. I need tools to be able to help myself. I'm pretty high wired. Yeah. So
it's the gift of sensitivity. Yeah. But they're essential. They're just so important to be able to work with those big feelings and the big vibrations that everybody's feeling right now. They're huge. Yeah. So yes, I second that. Go see it on the 50/50 girl page. It is so good. Thank you again, Jen, for teaching. It's wonderful. Yes, thank you. We have more coming up. We have more teaching. Jaycine's got book club on Wednesday, A Dog's Journey, right?
Yeah. And
how's that book? Is it good?
It's good. It's from a dog's perspective, but as I'm reading it, listening to it on Audible. So you've got the dog's voices and things like that, which is kind of weird for me. I'm not really that kind of a person, but I started looking at it differently and thinking about, this is a dog's perspective, but it has like familial undertones, like the sister. And one of the questions that I had as I was listening is, why is it that when you've got a family, whether it's dogs or our own people families, why are we maybe drawn to one sibling more than we are to another sibling, and feel more
you feel closer to them.
Yeah, closer to them, and we want to protect them and we want to help them. Or maybe it's a certain, maybe it's a parent that you feel closer to, So I just kind of have those questions going through my mind, and something for you to think about as you read the book or listen to it. Why do you think that is?
Yeah. Enrich your life with those questions. Yeah, that's great. And tomorrow we have Coaching Clear. So, and we skipped it last week because it was the 4th of July. And I got to tell you, my heart just goes pitter pat at the thought of going back for Coaching Clear tomorrow, because I really, really love it. And I didn't realize how much I enjoyed it till we skipped a week. Yeah. And I really noticed a difference. We do it so consistently every single week that you just don't even think, well, it's just Coaching Clear, but it's not just Coaching Clear. It's something special. And now I know, because we skipped the 4th of July, and I'm stoked to do it tomorrow. So then we have Thursday coach training. And again, next week, we'll be back for a creator-based weekly broadcast. So we just have all kinds of good stuff happening. Gifts to give ourselves. Summer self-care will come out again on Monday. We'll have a new tip. We'll be talking about some more. And we're going to not have a summer slide. We're going to just enjoy and take care of ourselves and make it great. Create a beautiful summer, right? That'll be good.
And
So
I have
you-
a summer slip and slide. No, I was kidding.
Yes, yes. I still have the bruised tailbone to prove the 4th of July summer slide.
Have some
Sat
fun.
down
with
last
summer
night
slip
on
and
a
slide.
hard wooden chair and went, oh yeah, that's not better yet.
Oh, shoot.
Another week, but it was a really great slide. So it was worth it. It was cool. Yeah. Yeah, so much fun. So much fun. Okay, then till next week. Well,
Bye.
take care.
I can choose to be happy, choose to be free, moment by moment. It's all up to me, 'cause what I think about, I bring about. That's the way it is, and there is no doubt. Day by day, I pave the way with every little thought I think.
Hey, thanks for joining us today in A Creator-Based Life. I hope you felt that compassion, mindfulness, and hope you came seeking today. You can find more of it at cmhcoaching.com or on linktree/cmhcoaching. Of course, any social media outlet, we're there too. Because you felt the benefit and light in this message, please invite those you care deeply about to join us. Help us to create a ripple effect across the globe of compassion, mindfulness, and hope. Then we can create a creator-based life together. Have a great week, y'all. We'll talk to you soon.
Moment by moment, it's all up to me, 'cause what I think about, I bring about. That's the way it is, and there is no doubt. Day by day, I pave the way with every little thought I think. Day by day, I pave the way with every little